To get people excited about Boost Mobile's new nationwide 5G network, we're offering unlimited talk, text, and data for $25 a month.
Forever.
Even if you have a baby.
Even if your baby has a baby.
Even if you grow old and wrinkly and you start repeating yourself.
Even if you start repeating yourself.
Even if you're on your deathbed and you need to make one last call.
Or text.
Right, or text. The long-lost son you abandoned at birth.
You'll still get unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month with Boost Mobile.
Forever!
After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Unlimited plan.
Forever.
On today's Smart 7, Israel continues strikes on Lebanon, Tory conference underway, and much more. It's Monday 30th of September, it's International Podcast Day, and happy birthday, Kieran Culkin.
The Smart 7. It's news, but not the news.
Israel continued to hammer Hezbollah targets on Sunday and widened its attacks to include strikes on Houthi sites in Yemen. It came after a series of brutal airstrikes across the weekend that killed much of Hezbollah's leadership, including Hassan Nasrallah. Iran has vowed revenge and Hezbollah continued to fire rockets across the weekend, but Israel remains determined to deliver on the goals it has set in its war cabinet. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu addressed the UN on Friday evening, despite a walkout from many delegations in protest.
If you strike us, we will strike you. There is no place in Iran that the long arm of Israel cannot reach, and that's true of the entire Middle East.
IDF spokesperson Peter Lerner defended the strike on the suburbs of Beirut, claiming it was precise and targeted based on intelligence. He says that the death of Nasrallah will change the situation in the region.
This person, this terrorist, this individual who has the trail of blood on his hands no longer poses a problem. So there can be a way forward.
The Tory party conference got underway on Sunday in Birmingham, with party chairman Richard Fuller apologising to members for the poor election results. Temporary leader Rishi Sunak addressed attendees and called for party unity, asking them to end the division, backbiting and squabbling. His call didn't seem to have any impact on the four candidates competing for the final two slots in the leadership contest, with Tom Tugendhat, James Cleverly, Robert Jenrick and Kemi Badenoch all doing media rounds before next week's vote by MPs that will see only two candidates go forward. Badenoch was busy making headlines, supporting Israel and saying that when it comes to immigration, not all cultures are equally valid. She also hit out at the levels of maternity pay.
Statutory maternity pay. It is a function of tax. Tax comes from people who are working. We're taking from one group of people and giving to another. This, in my view, is excessive.
Robert Jenrick disagreed with Badenoch's stance, but he took a strongly anti-migration line as he hoped to appeal to the party's right-wing voters.
The age of mass migration must end. It's placing immense pressure on public services and on community cohesion. You can't integrate 1.2 million people into a small country each year. What I want to do is to set a legally binding cap on migration.
Rosie Duffield is probably best described as a controversial MP. She represents the constituency of Canterbury for Labour, but she's had a checkered history with the party over her views on women's rights and transgender issues. She managed to make headlines on Sunday with a dramatic resignation letter accusing Prime Minister Keir Starmer of taking members and voters for granted and slamming him for accepting gifts and hospitality while also cutting the winter fuel allowance. Labour Minister Pat McFadden says she's been disillusioned with the party for some time and will now sit as an independent MP. She appeared on the BBC on Sunday morning to recap her grievances.
It's just so profoundly disappointing to me as a Labour voter to just see that this is what we've become, and it's more about greed and power than it is about making a difference.
There are only 35 days left until the US presidential election, and opinion polls continue to show an incredibly tight race between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. Their vice presidential nominees Tim Walz and J.D. Vance are getting ready for a debate on Tuesday night on CBS, which will have similar rules to the Biden-Trump debate that caused so much chaos. On TV, Saturday Night Live returned this weekend, bringing back Maya Rudolph to play Kamala, while Andy Samberg took on the role of her husband Doug Emhoff. Both candidates have been crisscrossing the country this weekend, focusing on key swing states, with Trump appearing to call Harris mentally impaired during one campaign stop, but it's clear that he's growing increasingly erratic and unfocused as the campaign goes on.
Oh, there's a fly. Oh, I wonder where the fly came from. See, 2 years ago I wouldn't have had a fly up here. You're changing rapidly. but we can't take it any longer.
Still to come on today's Smart 7, Spurs trample United and tributes to a country music legend. Right after this.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 up front for 3 months plus taxes and fees. Promo rate for new customers for limited time. Unlimited more than 40 gigabytes per month. Slows full terms at mintmobile.com.
Welcome back. It was a busy weekend of Premier League action, with Newcastle holding Man City to a 1-1 draw, while Arsenal managed a 4-2 win at home to Leicester. Chelsea's Cole Palmer picked up 4 first-half goals to see his side beat Brighton 4-2, while Liverpool won at Wolves to top the table. Sunday saw Ipswich draw 2-2 with Aston Villa, while Manchester United welcomed Spurs to Old Trafford. Things didn't go well for United, with Bruno Fernandes sent off in the 43rd minute, and it finished 3-0 to Tottenham as United looked to face a fresh crisis. Spurs manager Ange Postecoglou was happy with his team's progress.
And I think we've had a real consistency in our performances. The results haven't been there for sure. But at the same time, you know, we know what we see from the players every day and what kind of team we can be. And today is just a vindication of that.
Francis Ford Coppola's epic Megalopolis hit cinemas this weekend, but the movie, which he's been working on since 1977 and partially self-financed, had a rough start to its box office run. It's been slated by critics who have called it confusing, and The Guardian described it as an epic fail. It only took $4 million on its first weekend against a budget estimated at over $120 million. Adam Driver has been doing his best to talk up the movie, describing how liberating it was to work on a set without studio supervision, although maybe a little more supervision would have helped.
You didn't have to worry about people making decisions. And this is not unique to Star Wars. There was no producers in the way. There was no somebody standing over his shoulder trying to nudge him in a direction where they thought that the movie should be. It was a direct conversation that you were having with Francis, and because of which it was one of the best shooting experiences I had ever had.
This weekend saw the death of Oscar winner and Bridgerton star Maggie Smith, Beverly Hills Cop star John Ashton, and on Sunday night, Chris Christopherson. He was 88 years of age and had been retired from music since 2021. He was an extraordinary character, a songwriter and country music legend, an acclaimed actor and a winner of multiple Grammys and a Golden Globe. He wrote classic songs including Me and Bobby McGee and Sunday Morning Coming Down, and he starred opposite Barbra Streisand in A Star is Born. He described how life before fame helped him with both songwriting and acting. Rest in peace, Chris.
But I had done a lot of things. I've worked on as a laborer in Wake Island, and I'd worked in Alaska on the railroad and firefighting, and 4 years of college, 2 years at Oxford, 5 years in the Army, a couple of years flying helicopters out in the Gulf of Mexico, and I'd been a lot of things, and I'd done a lot of things.
You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes and we'll give you the world.
To get people excited about Boost Mobile's new nationwide 5G network, we're offering unlimited talk, text, and data for $25 a month.
Forever.
Even if you have a baby.
Even if your baby has a baby.
Even if you grow old and wrinkly and you start repeating yourself.
Even if you start repeating yourself.
Even if you're on your deathbed and you need to make one last call.
Or text.
Right, or text. The long-lost son you abandoned at birth.
You'll still get unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month with Boost Mobile.
Forever!
After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Unlimited plan.
Forever.